We seem to spend all our time talking about flows of immigration, people coming and going. But what about the broader picture? Let's consider the facts. Out of every 100 people living in Britain, 13 were born overseas. Compare that to just 9 back in 2004. The top 5 countries they come from? Poland, India, Ireland, Pakistan, and the United States.
Hi.
A whole 42% of the working population of London was born overseas, compared with just 5% in the north of England. There's clear economic issues here. How much do immigrants cost Britain's welfare state? Over a quarter of babies born in the UK last year had non-UK born mothers. That's the highest proportion in history. However, research from the OECD shows that immigrants actually bring in £7 billion more than they cost. That's the equivalent of more than a penny off the basic rate of income tax. But is Britain well equipped to deal with the influx? A higher population does boost GDP, but unless more homes are built, it means house prices could get increasingly out of reach. And then there's competition. Immigrants work harder. 71% of them are economically active, compared with 67% of UK-born citizens. And they're better qualified. 38% have university degrees, compared with 30% in the UK. And, contrary to popular opinion, they're not all plumbers. In fact, the most common industry for immigrants is finance, followed by health, retail, and manufacturing. It's had an undeniable impact on the jobs market. Since the start of the crisis, 7 British workers have lost their jobs for every 1 non-British worker who's lost theirs. This is an economic message. Britons need to work harder if they're going to compete. You can face this, or you can shut your eyes to it and shut the
Diverse
borders.
London, please.
Today we're going to look around the city and get a flavour of diverse London. According to the last census in 2011, less than half of the population, around 45%, are classified as white British. There are over 300 languages spoken here and more than 50 indigenous communities. Taxi driver Bala Murali came to the UK in 2000, fleeing the civil war in Sri Lanka. Then he didn't speak a word of English. Now, he says, he lives in the best country in the world.
What do you think Britain is like as a country for people like you coming from abroad?
People are very nice, it's good culture, you can do anything, you can study, you can work, you can do, you know, I'm a taxpayer, I work hard myself. Look at me, I'm driving a cab today.
Just a short journey and Britain's first black female MP takes a hard line on those who pander to anti-immigrant sentiment.
One of the things that does upset me a little bit about the debate on immigration is people talk as if immigrants just come here to claim benefits and don't contribute. My mother was that generation of West Indian women who came here to be a nurse. That generation helped build the National Health Service, and I'd like to hear more about the contribution immigrant communities make and less recycling of urban myth.
Back in the cab, I head south to Stockwell, home of one of the UK's biggest Portuguese communities. There I met primary school teacher Salome Campos, who came to Britain to find a better life.
We come here with our expertise and we work in the area, we settled in very well, so it's give and take.
Under a mile and a half down the road, and the smell of rich Afro-Caribbean cuisine welcomes me to Brixton. More than 30 years ago, this area was defined by racial tension and riots. Today, Jeff the chef hails Britain's multiculturalism.
What's it like living here?
Well, I like Brixton. You know, Brixton is like a multicultural society where people from all over the world is in Brixton, and we get to learn and adapt a lot of languages and culture.
What are those there?
That's patties.
Patties,
yeah.
Then on to North London and the Jewish community, one of the oldest and best integrated of migrant communities.
It's only 350 years or so since we were allowed back in to Britain, and actually we know how immigrants of all different shapes and sizes and flavours have really contributed to British society, and we're really proud to play our part in that story.
So we've certainly seen that there are many diverse groups as we've journeyed around London, and what struck me is how remarkably happy here most of them seem to be. For sure, the issue of immigration is not going to go away, but perhaps Britain's most diverse city has got something to teach the rest of us. Adam Bolton, Sky News, London.